Now on Money Talk 1010 AM, it's your RX for Love and Success with Dr. Gina. Brought to you by Defy Medical, a leading concierge medical practice focusing on both preventive and restorative therapies. Dr. Gina Midyett is a psychotherapist with her PhD from prestigious Pepperdine University. Along with her PhD, she's a mental health advisor. Now, here is Dr. Gina with Roxanne Wilder.
This is your RX for Love and Success with Dr. Love. I'm Roxanne Wilder, and of course, Dr. Gina Midyett is here. How you doing, Gina?
Yes, I am. I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
Fantastic. And of course, we are here to take your calls, hear all about your love and relationship problems. No better person to talk to than Dr. Gina. She's a psychotherapist, a sex therapist, and she's here to help you. So you can always call 888-404-1010. Of course, we love talking to one another, hearing your advice, but it's so much fun when we have special guests with us, as we do today.
Yeah, so
and
exciting.
we have to kind of paint this picture because this is a small space. You know, it's radio. We're kind of packed in here into the 1010 Money Talk studio. And yet he fits in here with us with his big muscles. Dave Bautista.
Yay,
So
Dave's
glad
in the
you're
house.
here.
Yeah, good to be here.
So you guys are friends. You and Gina are friends.
We are,
Yes,
yeah.
we are.
How
Yes.
did this come about?
Well, Dave was started working out at our gym, Powerhouse Gym. Obviously.
It's so generic. We met at the gym.
Yeah, we met at the gym. And that was it.
I
We
would
became
never have
friends.
known that from either of your physiques. Never. Oh my goodness.
Do you
Well,
work out a lot, Dave?
Yeah, and you do as well. Right?
just a little. Both of you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually originally met through Matt.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Gina's husband, Matt. So I was on Facebook last night, and what do I see? And Dave, if you haven't seen these photos yet of Gina, you're going to have to check them out. And she's hanging from a building in downtown Tampa.
Yes, I am. I am hanging off the building of the Floridan Palace Resort here in Tampa, downtown Tampa. And they had me sit in the O, and the big O.
A big blinking O.
Big blinking O. That sounds really great.
Oh my gosh. So were you scared at all when you were up there?
I was scared climbing up the stairs, but once I was up there, it was really fun. It was fine. Got some really good pictures.
I bet. I bet. Well, one person who can't be scared in his line of work is Dave. So you do have done.
Terrified all the time.
Are you terrified all the time? That's what keeps you going?
Depends on what line of work I'm pursuing at the time.
So it is so cool. I love it. You know, when it makes a lot of sense when you see guys who do what you did in WWE and then transition and go into acting. It makes a lot of sense because you are telling a story so much in what you've done. Do you agree
Yeah.
with that in terms of the
Somewhat.
wrestling?
It's just not, it's not like, every guy from the WWE is going to
No.
transition into acting. It's not an easy feat.
It's a difficult craft, certainly.
It is very, yeah. And they couldn't be, honestly, they couldn't be any more different.
Really?
They're so
Okay.
different.
Well, then tell us how that is.
It's easier to tell you the similarities, and that's
Okay.
basically that there's a camera pointed at you. No, that's pretty much where they end. They couldn't be any more different.
Really?
Wrestling is just so big, so broad, and we're entertaining a live audience, and acting is just so small and intimate. And
Oh, so what it comes down to is really when you think about the camera angle and it's you and another actor and you're on a set.
yeah, and it's not so much it's just acting. It's talent. It's a craft. It's not something that's wrestling is a lot of improv, and it's live, and it's adrenaline, and it's just a lot of you can do what you want to do and be yourself, and it's a physical form of entertainment. And acting is just, it's more about subtleties, and when you're trying to deliver lines that aren't, that's not your actual thoughts. It's just, words that you memorize off a page, but make them seem natural. It's a hard thing to do.
Make them seem natural and become that other person.
Yeah.
And transitioning from being a wrestler to acting, definitely was a big transition for you. But how, at any time, did you feel like you couldn't do it, or were there doubts in your mind?
Never, not once.
Yeah. So would you say that's the secret to success when it comes to transitioning to something like that?
I guess it depends. There's a lot of things that I think that I'd like to do, and I could try to convince myself that I could do, but they're probably not going to happen.
Yeah. What about?
I like to be a pro basketball player. I'd love to be a pro basketball player.
So being
Probably not gonna
realistic about your goals. Yeah.
but absolutely. I agree with you. It's just be determined and be driven and be positive and be focused.
What
Yeah,
about for
absolutely.
your most difficult, or I should say your most daunting audition? What did you tell yourself? Because you obviously have that confidence.
I'm not the type of person to have a inner dialogue with myself, and not, I actually called up Gina once to help.
Yeah, I hypnotized him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
Yes,
you did
I
that?
did. I did.
It's a very true story, yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, I think, and that's kind of why I brought up this question because, well, I wouldn't say he had any self-doubt, but I think that sometimes it's all about the mindset. So really getting your mind into this positive state is so important for you to succeed in anything in life. So with hypnosis, I put him in a really relaxed state of mind, got into his unconscious mind, and just help him with any kind of anxieties, any worries that he may have. I mean, in life, you're going to have problems. There's going to be worries and issues, and letting that go and living in the moment is the hardest thing to do.
Right. Yeah.
And so you can snap back into that when you need to, that sort of focused state?
I don't know. It comes and goes. It's a terrifying thing for me to go in for an audition.
Really?
Yeah. I was, I grew up and I was such a shy kid, and I was, so going into something like that, it's almost like claustrophobic. It's terrifying for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about this with Gina.
Yeah, and it's
my
conquering.
fears and-
Absolutely. And it is the fear. I mean, that's what anxiety is. It's just the fear.
That's what anxiety is. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Bad
So,
anxiety.
but now that you have, I guess you would call it a technique, then somewhat meditative place that you can go and you can deal with that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Just trying to stay focused, not read too much into what everybody else is thinking.
Yes, that's the greatest prison we live in. Other people's thoughts about us. Yeah.
Well, Dave, as I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking, this guy has such a sexy voice. So, if you always have a future. I think your
Hypnotizing
acting
you.
career is going to be just fine, but, you also have a future in voiceover work if you need to.
I've been trying. Yeah, we've been trying to get in that world. It's not. Yeah, that again, it's not even easy to get into that world.
I've heard that's a tough one to crack into. Yes.
Yeah, I can see him doing that, though. That would be really good.
Hey, so you have some exciting news because you're engaged.
I am engaged.
Congratulations. I don't know how long it's been,
I've been
but
engaged
congratulations.
forever. Yeah, it seems like
You're enjoying every
5-year
minute
engagement.
of it. Right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. We've actually been engaged for a while. And then we were engaged and we went through a breakup, and then we got back together, and we just consider ourselves still engaged.
Include that, right. Yes,
but,
include that in the time,
it's more
too.
of a thing with schedule with us. We're trying to schedule a date for the wedding. We actually have scheduled a date. Yeah.
And I'm sure with all of your travel, it makes it hard I'm sure that's something that comes into is a problem in relationships.
Yeah. Well, we were actually supposed to get married last January, and because I spent most of this past year overseas, we couldn't do it. And it was a job that I got offered that I couldn't pass up. It was too huge.
So how do you make it work? I mean, having two people, you have to travel a lot. There's a lot of time you don't spend together.
Right.
What do you do to make it work?
We pretty much learned from our mistakes, because the first time we tried was when I was away for Guardians, and that was when we split up because we couldn't make it work. And then it was like months down the road, I realized I really don't want to live without her, Sarah.
Yeah.
So I, flew back home. I had a week off. I flew back home, begged her to take me back. And we started there. And then we just, we went through and we kind of overanalyzed every issue we had, and we figured out ways to work with them.
Cool.
And so we Skype a lot.
I heard she has really pretty purple hair too.
It's kind of blue. It's weird because every time I come home, it's a different color.
I think it's blue now, yes. But I think I see a mistake a lot that they'll break up, and then instead of just looking at, well, what happened? What went wrong? They just give up on each other. So sometimes you need to break up or separate for a little while to realize what you have.
It actually, it answered a lot of questions for me as well. But I think it was one of those things that we just had to learn how to deal with this, and we neither one of us were equipped to to deal with it, and we didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
On RX for Love and Success, we love how couples met. We love love stories, how you first got together. How did you and your fiance first get together?
There's not.
Hey, I like that smile on your face.
So
That's
funny,
a good
man,
sign, right, Gina?
It's a complicated answer.
No, it's actually not. But I wish it was interesting and romantic, but it's actually really not. It was very awkward because there's a huge age gap, a huge age difference. And the first time I saw her was in a picture. And there's nothing romantic about it. It was a picture. I had an assistant who was working for me at the time, and he took a picture with two girls, and she actually photobombed the picture.
Oh, how funny.
And I said, who in the hell is that girl in the back? And he said, this girl named Sarah, and she's really cool. And I said, I got to meet her, man. How old is she? He said, she's like 25, 26. And then so I arranged to meet her, and we met her and took her out to dinner, and we were out talking and this and that in conversation. And it came up, her age came up, and she said she was 21. And I looked at her and said, you're how old? Because I think I was in my late 30s at that time. And I was like, man, that's not going to work.
What makes me smile about that is the fact that she caught your eye doing a photo bomb. You get someone's spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, we have Shar on the line. She's got a question for Dr. Love or Dr. Gina. She's going to ask about trust. So, Shar, we're going to get to you just after the break. Give us a call, 888-404-1010. We will be right back with your RX for love and success.
This segment is powered by TampaBayNightlife.tv, Tampa Bay's video entertainment guide and home of Tampa Bay's top 20 things to do with a new show every Friday.
Welcome back. This is your RX for love and success with Dr. Love. I'm Roxanne Wilder, and Dr. Gina is here to take your calls. We're having calls come in. We've got Shar on the line, and of course, Dave Bautista is here with us. We love having this yin-yang energy in the room here.
It's great.
You're balancing things out. So let's hear from Shar. She's on the line. She has a question for Dr. Gina about trust. Hey, Shar, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Shar. How are you? How can I help you?
Okay, so I actually had a question about trust in relationships.
Okay.
I'm not in a relationship now, but I have a huge fear of trust. Like, I trust no man, and I feel like this is going to eventually affect my relationships in the future.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you right now where you're going wrong. You're already putting that out there that you don't trust men. And I see that a lot with people is that you haven't even met someone and you're already not trusting them. So you have to be careful. I don't know. Have you been hurt in the past before?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes, well, that'll definitely do it. When you've been hurt before, you can't allow the past to affect your present and affect your future. You have to be careful with those thoughts. So leave those behind and, just start new. When you meet someone, instead of focusing on that thought, focus on that person, get to know them. And eventually you'll know if you can trust them or not. But that takes time. So just really learn to be present and not let the past come into these new relationships for you.
Awesome. Well, I absolutely agree with you, and it's honestly, I think it's also like a thing that I would have to work on with myself.
Absolutely, yes, and I think when you get hurt, it does cause insecurities. It makes you feel like you've been rejected, that there's something wrong with you. So I agree. I think you need to work on your self-confidence. Know that it wasn't you. Don't blame yourself for things that people have done to you. And like you said, learn about yourself, get to know yourself, and feel secure about who you are and confident.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this advice, and honestly, it's something I probably needed to hear.
Oh, you're so welcome. And yeah, good luck with that. But always believe in yourself and don't let anyone make you feel less than that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Shar. You know what? Nobody's immune to trust issues. Nobody's
Right.
immune to their being so strong that if someone does something to hurt them and cause them to lose trust, that they can just deal with it and walk away. We're all hurt by that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Do you think it's better when someone, if they've been in a situation where the other person has cheated on them or done something to them that hurt them, do you think it's better for that person to forgive them and be able to not necessarily have a friendship with them, but be at peace with it? Or do you think that person needs to just be wiped from their brain? Because I know people who do it both ways. And let me tell you, I feel like one way is right, but the people who do it the other way will tell me different.
Yeah, it all depends. But, I think I don't believe in holding grudges. I believe that, if someone hurts you like that, of course you have to forgive to let go, but I don't think you should have them linger around your life because I hate to say it, but there's going to be triggers. There's going to be things that are going to make you lash out to them. I think it's best just to cut that relationship. Obviously that person didn't respect you enough to, really earn your trust. So just move on, and if they ever need you, run into them, be cordial, but I don't think you need them as a friend in your life.
If someone hurts me or does something with my trust, I'm going to sick Dave Bautista on him right now.
That's the solution.
That's one way to do it. So we also have a caller that we want to talk with. His name is Jonathan.
Right.
Jonathan, how you doing? What's your question for Dr. Gina?
Yes. How are you guys doing?
Great. How are you, Jonathan?
Good. Hey, my question is, my girlfriend's been recently bringing up in conversation, bringing a third party into our sexual relationship.
Okay.
And I'm not very comfortable with it.
Okay.
And I don't know what, statistically happens in this kind of thing.
Okay. Well, what makes you uncomfortable about it?
I consider it cheating.
Okay. Well, here's the thing with threesomes or ever, bringing someone else into the relationship. If both of you are in agreement, then, go for it. I mean, I'm not one to judge what you do, but if you're not comfortable with it, I would suggest maybe just using it as fantasy then. If that's not something you want to do, then, I don't think that you guys should bring that into your relationship. It sounds like it's going to cause more issues than not. So I would say keep it more as a fantasy, let her talk about it, bring it into your sex life in more of a fantasy type of way. So maybe you could try it that way. And also, though, with that said, I would also look into why she wants to do it. Is this something that is a fantasy, or is it something that she's considering, does she want to be with women? So, I would ask some questions first.
Okay. And I mean, I was just curious because, you hear different things regarding this and the outcomes of them. Mm-hmm. But, you typically want to please your partner as much as possible. I just don't know how far I'm supposed to go with it.
Right. Well, it sounds to me like you're not comfortable with it, but, definitely talk about it. I mean, if you guys want to do it and you feel like it's someone that you feel comfortable bringing into the relationship and you'd be okay with it, then go ahead. But, if it's going to cause problems, then I would just keep it as a fantasy and that's it.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I like how thanks Jonathan for calling. I like how Jonathan was looking for statistics. He's doing his research on this in advance.
But did Jonathan say that the third party was a woman?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought he just said she asked me to bring a third party, and I didn't think
we didn't know who was coming to the party.
Was it a man, a woman?
Did he say woman? Oh, I don't know why my mind.
He just said third party.
Yeah, we just said third party.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that changes my. Wait, Jonathan, call back.
Jonathan, call Dr. Gina. And by the way, if our listeners want to get in touch with you and say, hey, I've got an issue for Dr. Gina, but maybe I want to do it, over the phone or in person.
Right.
They can go to your website.
Yeah, just go to drginacounseling.com. And yeah, if she wants to bring a guy in, that's probably, I'm going to give you a little different advice. I don't think that's a fantasy.
So I was reading an article. I sent this to you, Dr. Gina, and now I'm so glad Dave is here to chime in on this because it is pertaining to keeping the magic in your relationship.
Yes.
And it was actually written by Aziz Ansari.
Oh, really?
So did you meet him in your course of your
I've
work?
not met him.
Okay,
No.
I didn't know if you did or not because, of course, in Guardians, you worked with Chris Pratt, which we're getting off topic. But by the way, what's he like? He's my favorite.
He's awesome.
I actually did interview him one time for Moneyball.
He's such a good dude. I have such a man crush on him. No, he's awesome, man. I love everything about this guy. And he's so real, man. He's so genuine down there.
Right.
Yeah. It's big dude, too. He's
Right,
not
he
like,
is.
yeah.
He's bigger than what I expected
he's
in real
big
life.
And he's a tough guy. He was an amateur wrestler as well. Yeah, we get along real good. He was actually my best buddy in London.
Oh, I bet.
Because, when we first got there, he didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody, so we were just hanging out together.
Yeah, he seems really cool because I'm a huge Parks and Rec fan. So, of course, do you watch that, Dr. Gina?
No, I don't.
But you do because you're laughing.
No, I do.
Caught a little
I've
bit
seen
of
a
it.
lot of episodes, and I just love how they just kind of brushed by him losing all that weight.
I know. Chris Pratt had major body transformations during the course of Parks and Rec, and it just kind of, nobody mentioned it. In good shape now. So Aziz writes this article, and he says that the key is to keep things, we have a tendency, especially in society, even we just put everything out there, and then we do that in our relationships as well. We put everything out there, and then once you start dating someone, then okay, they learn this about you. You're a little more open about this. And in some ways, opening up is good, but you do lose some of the mystery.
Yeah, I mean, take it in steps. Take your time disclosing everything because you don't want to bring your baggage onto the first or second date at all. But even when you're in a relationship, try to keep it fresh. Try to keep a little mystery. I think spending some time apart is good. Doing things, I don't necessarily mean traveling apart. Like I know, Dave, you have to do that. But if you do live in the same place together, doing things as individuals, having your own interests, your own goals, and then that when you get together, you have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. And even when we do spend, like we're together a lot, we still have our own separate lives, and we
That's
have our
so
separate
important.
identities, and we can go. I don't mind if she goes out. We can spend some time with the girls, and she doesn't mind if I go out and spend some time with the guys. I think you definitely always need that.
Sure. Okay, along the lines of the courtship phase, I want to hear what kinds of things you did as far as texting, because Aziz brings this up to give someone to wait like 20 minutes before you text back. If someone texts you, wait a little bit, because if you do it immediately, there's no reward uncertainty. So when you think back to your courtship, did you
I don't buy into
you
all
don't
those
play
rules.
games?
I don't
Doesn't play games.
That is very gamey.
I think it's I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'm not keeping score. I just don't get all that stuff. You got to wait a certain amount of days before you call a girl, or you got to wait until till you text her back. I don't buy into any of that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I get so many people in my office that are always doing that. I go, how long should I wait to call her? It's like, just be real. If it's meant to be and there's a connection, it's going to work.
Sure. And what about red flags in terms of if someone is too preoccupied, or I should say too involved with texting, but not getting on the phone and talking?
Oh, I think that's terrible. Unfortunately, we live in a world now where everything is just at your fingertips. It's so convenient just to text someone back or, send them a message on Facebook. There's so much to be said about conversation, about being on the phone with someone, about talking to someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I truly am one of those who I like to have a conversation. If it's a short back and forth, then of course it makes sense. And in business, sometimes it makes sense. But it's good to hear someone's voice, to make some eye contact.
Yes.
And if you want to hear Dr. Love's voice, all you have to do is call 888-404-1010. You have a question for Dr. Gina, talk to Dave. Hit us up. We're here for you, your RX for love and success.
Is powered by Xtra Medium Productions, your high-definition, full-service production studio. Call 727-584-4500, xtramedium.com.
Welcome back. This is your RX for love and success. I'm feeling a little bit out of shape right now based upon who I'm sitting in between. We've got Dave Bautista to my right, Dr. Gina to my left. And so you guys are so much fun to hang out with. And we're answering your questions today. So call us tonight, 888-404-1010. And Dr. Love will help you out.
Yes, I will.
Speaking of which, we got an email. And I'm going to read this email so everybody knows this is someone who reached out to Dr. Gina. And she says, hi, this is a female. Her name's Tina. It's probably not her real name, but hi, Dr. Gina. I'm writing to you because I'm feeling completely rejected. My husband and I have been together for 10 years. He's 41 and I'm 37. About 2 years ago, I noticed a rapid decline as far as his interest goes when it comes to having sex. For about a year, I fought things and tried to be the initiator, but you can only do that and be rejected so many times before you start to feel like it's not doing any good at all. So now neither of us tries it all, and we are at a stalemate. He doesn't seem to be willing to go to counseling and talking to a professional, but I have to do something to feel better. Him rejecting me has caused my self-esteem to plummet. Help.
Yes, of course. And, that's one of the biggest reasons that couples do break up or they have problems is their sex life. Sex is a very important aspect of a relationship. The first thing I see here is that he doesn't want to seek help. He's probably feeling ashamed about it. It's definitely a very touchy subject for a man. But I would say the first thing I would check out are your hormones. Make sure that his testosterone is okay, which, he can go to Defy Medical, which is a great place here to check your hormones.
Sure. We had Jason on last week, and he was explaining one thing that I remembered is he talked about how in the United States, surprisingly, nobody really can connect the dots as to why, but men's testosterone levels appear to be lower than they are in other countries.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I would definitely point out is that money, stress, all those factors come into play. Sex is such a mind game also. If your mind's not into it, you're not going to be physically capable.
And sometimes it's not about you, or I should say the person who's feeling rejected. It's not that there's something wrong with them. It's that the person is like, listen, honey, I've got so many other things on my mind.
Right. And of course you start feeling rejected because you think, is there something wrong with me? But really understanding that it's not you, they need to get checked. There's something wrong with them. So look at the whole picture, medically, to see the stress level, all that stuff. Just look into all those factors.
So I was talking about what great shape you guys are both in. So I want to ask a few questions related to how you do keep your physiques. First of all, we know you work out at the same gym.
Yes, we do.
Something positive is going on at Powerhouse Gyms.
Right. Yeah, well, I do a lot of stuff, a lot of activities outside the gym as well. I'm an avid cyclist, and I also do a lot of martial arts.
Oh, cool.
I usually train at Ybor BJJ, and I have my trainer, Josh Rafferty, and we find any little space we can to train. But it's a lifestyle for me.
I'm sure it's fun. That's what makes it fun. And what about you, Dr. Gina? I know you work out. Do you work out twice a day, once a day?
Well, if I'm competing, I work out twice.
5
I do.
times
I know. But I was just talking to someone, actually Steve Austin, when I was walking up here, and he was going, I need your help with lose weight. I go, it's all about the food, though. Yeah. You can work out as much as you want, but if you start eating bad, and he mentioned the gluten-free, and Dave's actually
I've been
gluten-free
since 2010.
Really?
It's changed my life. Yeah.
And you feel a lot better?
A lot better. Yeah, I started training with a guy named Cesar Gracie, and he had his whole fight team on a certain diet, and it was all all gluten-free, no red meat, no pork. And a lot of the guys were pescatarians and vegetarians.
Is that the Gracie family?
Yeah,
is he
he's
part of the
Gracie. He's
right.
a particular brand, though. Gracie Fighter is a brand. He trains a fight team, and but he was, he introduced me to this diet, and I swear it changed my life.
Really?
Yeah.
So aside from gluten-free, what other special things do you incorporate as far as?
I just, I keep it, everything in moderation for me.
Sure.
I don't stick to a certain diet. I'm not counting calories, but obviously I try to stay, pretty lean, so a low-fat diet. But I eat carbs. I just try to stay away from like raw, like sugars and stuff.
Sure.
But I eat desserts. I eat pizza.
Plus, he's so active.
Gluten-free. I'm just so active.
Yeah.
Right. So. What about? Do you ever do anything like yoga or anything along those lines? I just have to.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing because I think it's ridiculous. I'm laughing because I've said for years that I was going to do yoga because I'm just not the most flexible person. But I always find something else that that I want to do more than I want to do yoga. So. But
because you're a boy, you're an active boy.
I
that's
just like to be
out
active.
there.
I
Sure.
like to be punching something. I like to be lifting something. I don't
throw it around.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Well, what about you, Gina? Your diet is impeccable, I'm sure.
Yeah, like I said, when I'm competing is much different, but I'm kind of the same as Dave. I'm very active, so I do eat a lot. I mean, people think I starve myself, but I eat like 6 to 7 meals a day. But again, clean eating, just watch my sodium intake. I don't eat any desserts or sugars, breads. Like, if I do eat gluten-free also, and that helps a lot.
Do you find couples, Gina, that ever come to see you? And I know what the answer is with you and Matt, because you and your husband are both in great shape. You're both into fitness and being healthy. But do you ever have couples that come to you and say, well, he's on this diet now and I can't keep up with it. And now he's all into his body and looking so great. Yes. And I am not there yet, or I don't want to be there.
I do. And, I was guilty of that. I learned my lesson. Well, the first time I competed, I drove Matt and my kids crazy because I was it was all about me and my food and this and my Tupperware all over the place. So the last time I competed, I made sure that no one felt it. Everyone went to bed. I would cook my meals. I'd wash all my Tupperware because I know even though I think it's a good thing, it can be annoying also to your spouse.
And Matt is in the room right now. He's over in the corner and he's just smiling. He's not agreeing. He's just smiling.
Shaking his head. Yes, it is annoying.
I remember he got so mad one time. He's like, I'm sick of your Tupperware.
Oh my goodness.
But we got through it.
We had Jacob on the line. He's been trying to connect with us. He has a question for Dave Bautista. And if you do as well, give us a call, 888-404-1010. Pat, our producer, is helping us out in there, but you keep losing Jacob. Jacob, call back. Maybe that's Jacob. So we'll talk to him this time.
Yeah, see what he has to say.
So what about your fiance? She must be in great shape and a good eater too.
Yeah, she's got a 12-pack.
Does she really?
Yeah, and I can't wait to talk about her. But Jacob, is he on? Is he ready?
Okay, Jacob's ready.
Perfect.
Here he is.
Talk about Sarah.
Hey, Jacob, what's going on? You're talking to Roxanne, Dr. Love, and Dave Bautista.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Great.
Hey, Bautista, I just want to say that I was a huge fan of yours when you were in the WWF Attitude Era and when the WWE era, and I saw that you were a little frustrated with the PG era. So I totally understand why you left because I'm kind of disappointed too about the PG era. So
yeah, me too.
And what is the PG era?
The PG era is the parental guidance, like
the actual.
They just went
rating.
a different direction with the company. They made it more kid friendly. Which kind of left me with nowhere to go.
Oh, I see.
It kind of became all about John Cena.
It wasn't edgy enough, right?
All American Boy Next Door, and
although I just saw John Cena in a movie and I saw his butt. Is that really his butt in that movie with Amy Schumer?
No, I mean,
Really? Does it look good?
Yeah. No, he's got. He got a great body. John's a stud, man. He's an athlete, man. Yeah.
That movie wasn't PG.
No, I heard it's hysterical. I think it's great that John, did some comedy because some of the drama stuff that he was doing.
I was impressed with his performance. Jacob, you're still there. You're still part of the conversation.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah. So, Bautista, I was wondering how do you get into the WWE? Because I've been practicing broadcasting since it's been probably a good 4 years, and I really want to be an announcer. So how do I get a hold of WWE?
I believe that there's only one way to get in now, and that's through NXT, which is their developmental program.
It's in Orlando now, right?
It's in Orlando, yeah. And so, it's rougher to get through than it used to be because guys, used to come from all around the world and work the indie circuits. Now it's really kind of one way into the company there, and if you went another route, it'd be extremely hard. But I think that would be your best bet, man. Getting in touch with them and see if they. I know they hold open tryouts every once in a while, so that would be your best bet.
And then I have a couple more questions for you. So,
you're quite a broadcaster, Jacob. You're already doing it. You've got a whole list of questions. Keep going. Do the interview.
All right. So my favorite part, my favorite match of yours, Bautista, was probably. My phone is echoing, so sorry about that. My favorite match of yours is probably when you couldn't stand John Cena at WrestleMania 26. I got to see you wrestle.
Right.
And I actually wanted you to kick John Cena's ass.
Along with a lot of other people.
Oh, so we shouldn't talk about his butt then on here.
What was your favorite match of all time being in wrestling in your career?
There was actually one. It was with Rey Mysterio, and it wasn't televised, so nobody will.
Really?
Unless except for the people who were there, they won't ever see it. It was best match of my career.
I remember you guys wrestling each other inside a steel cage match. I watched so many matches of you. Didn't you beat him, or did he beat you?
I'm sorry.
Did he beat him, or did you beat him?
Who won?
Yes,
right?
who won?
Me. Oh, in Mexico, he actually beat me.
I don't think it was in Mexico. I think it was
when you were in a cage.
My favorite match? Oh, the cage. I won.
Oh, he won.
Oh, okay.
Dave won.
All right, Jacob. Awesome job.
Thank you.
Thanks for the questions, and best of luck to you.
Yes, good luck.
See you, man.
We've got Don on the line. He's got a question for Dave, too. Don, what's happening?
Hey, Big Dave.
Hey,
I
man.
really liked you in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I appreciate
it. You were super, super funny in that.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to this James Bond movie. I want to know, do you prefer doing comedy or would you prefer playing like bad guys or good guys?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I really just like acting. I think across the board, I'm really, Guardians, I was fortunate enough that people could see that I could actually do comedy. I had a little bit of comedic timing because I think when you look at me, especially from the WWE, you kind of see a one-dimensional guy, and that's kind of a guy who just wants to rip your head off, which is not really my personality at all. I have very self-deprecating personality, and I really like to do comedy, but I really want to do it all, man. I want to do comedy, I want to do drama, I want to do action. I just really love acting.
Yeah, you were talking about John Cena a minute ago, and
I love John doing comedy, man, because he's so funny. And they haven't put him out there in comedy. I'm so glad they did, man, because he's so good at it.
Yeah. All right, well, good luck, and we look forward to seeing you at the 007 movie.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling,
And
Don.
I think that's what's great about Dave is that you're right. I think everyone pictures him as being this like really crazy, like rip your head off guy, but he's so calm and such a nice guy,
Sure, right. And if you can dance too, that's because it's another stereotype. Like a big guy, they say,
I love
he's
dancing,
not as
and
funny.
I'm not shy to dance.
You're a good dancer too? Oh, my gosh.
I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was good. I said I love to dance.
Do a little
I've been known to
salsa
step
in
on
the
a few
studio.
feet.
We're going to be dancing in the studio during the break. I can feel it. Call and talk to Dr. Love and Dave Bautista, 888-404-1010. We've got Michael holding. We're going to get to you, Michael, when we return.
This segment is powered by TampaBayNightlife.tv, Tampa Bay's video entertainment guide and home of Tampa Bay's top 20 things to do with a new show every Friday.
Oh, just a little bit more time to get on the line with Dr. Love and Dave Bautista. Give us a call, 888-404-1010. And if you go on moneytalk1010.com, you will see there's Dr. Love and
Here we are.
Myself,
Roxanne Wilder.
Of course, the person who took that photo, we have to give him a shout out. Thanks so much to Luis.
Good.
LuisX.com. If you want some really great pictures, some really great photographs, check him out. LuisX.com. And of course, right now we have cameras in here. It's really like kind of chaotic in this small space. And Xtra Medium is here shooting. And this is going to be a podcast.
It is. I'm so excited about that.
So thanks so much to Bill McArdle at Xtra Medium. So we had Michael on the line. He went away, but that's okay because we have some questions for Dave.
Okay. Yes.
We're excited about your fiance's business. She does something really cool.
Yeah, she owns a pole dancing studio.
Buttercup.
Fitness studio, Buttercup pole dance in Tampa.
In Carrollwood.
Yeah, I think 3-4 years now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Doing really well. Yeah.
I mean, that is so much more difficult than it looks. And so Gina and I were both talking off air.
I went to her class.
Hard to do. Yes.
A couple times. And I did not, I mean, she does it so beautifully. It looks so sexy. And I went in there and I did not look like that. It's hard work.
It's hard work. She comes home beat up and exhausted.
Yes.
She's a pro. She's competed and earned her pro card. And she
Do
does
you
very well.
Do you have, then I would guess that you have a pole in your home.
We do not.
You don't?
No, we did at one point, and it started to drive me crazy. I'll be honest with you. I got tired of looking at a pole in my living room. So she opened her studio, and she has like 12, 13 poles in her studio, so she can do it there. And I can
leave her work at work and don't come home and pole dance for me, honey.
Yeah.
I don't need any of
I
that.
don't have a movie camera set up in the middle of our living room.
You know which pole I like though, and I wouldn't mind having in my house is the rotating one. Yeah. It actually spins by itself, so you look like you're really doing a good job. I remember walking around and I felt so sexy. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great.
It's so hard when you do that first, because I took a class one time too, and again, it's so much more difficult than it looks. And you jump up on there and you don't have. Like your skin sticks to it, and it doesn't feel good. It's like pole burn. It's not fun.
But you know what?
She's always bruised up. And
I'm sure. You know, a lot of women come to me like they don't feel sexy about themselves. They feel so ugly, and like, oh, I'm overweight, I'm this. But when you go to that class, there's women of all shapes and sizes, and everyone is so confident. They're wearing these
as well.
Ages. I mean, they wear these little shorts, and everyone feels so good about themselves. What a great way to feel confident.
It's all women. And it's like it's a comfortable environment. And they all have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Yeah. You walk out of there and you are strutting.
For sure.
So you're so busy all the time with your travel schedule and your work schedule. So what do you guys like to do for fun?
We're the most boring people.
That's what happens. You fall in love, you get boring.
No, we've always been boring. I think that's why we're so compatible, because we're just so content to stay home with the dogs and really not do anything interesting. Just kind of, just us, and we'll watch, we watch Pawn Stars and we watch the History Channel and the Food Network. And
speaking of watching Pawn Stars and those different shows, what kinds of shows do you like to watch? I'm hooked. I'm a TV junkie in terms of I'll get stuck on a House of Cards or this or that, and I'll just go to town on it. Do you have any series that you like?
I'm still, Walking Dead and Better Call Saul are my two shows. I'm waiting for the new seasons to come up. But those typical stuff, Breaking Bad.
Sure, those are classics.
The Wire was one of my favorite shows ever.
Good ones. And what about what about you, Gina?
Oh, I love Food Network, HTTV. I have such a strenuous job. I mean, I listen to problems all day long. So when I come home, I need to watch a very light type of television.
That makes sense. Give your brain a rest and just see some crafty stuff.
Exactly.
That makes it nice. Now, have you changed your movie watching now that you are a big star?
No,
how does that?
I've always been a huge movie
big movie buff.
Yeah, I mean, since I was as long as I can remember.
Oh, so this is just perfect for you because now you know how it really is behind the scenes, and
that's what
fancy trailers.
That's how it happened for me, because I did my first movie as a favor to a friend. I never planned on going into acting.
Really?
And I really just loved being a part of the magic. Like, I kind of caught the bug, but I also realized that I was a horrible actor.
So did you go to a coach?
I did. I went straight to an acting coach. Yeah, and I've been working with the same acting coach for years now.
But it shows like when you put your mind to something, really work towards something, you can do anything.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You just have to put in the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the biggest things that acting coach told you?
He's the best. It was something we touched on earlier. The biggest thing for me is just to get out of my head and stop overthinking everything. And stop, it's just overanalyzing everything, and because that's what I do. I start to think, God, my hands are in the wrong place. I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm looking in the wrong direction. I overanalyze everything.
Yeah. Right, because being in the shape that you are, and from wrestling and from doing your martial arts, that's all about controlling your body.
It's a physical
body
thing,
positioning and things like that. And then in acting, you have to let your emotions
it's
carry.
It's very much an emotional and mental game, acting is.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not an easy thing to control at all.
Yeah, I mean, your mind is your worst enemy sometimes.
Absolutely.
And, the whole skill of mindfulness and meditation is really important.
Right. So that's what he would always say to me, get out of your head, stop thinking so much, just be natural, let it flow.
So you like the idea of doing more comedy, and of course, that's what people are enjoying that side of you too.
Right.
So what are your other goals that you have?
Yeah, no.
Because you just haven't done enough, Dave.
No, it was weird.
Get out there and accomplish more.
I know, man. I've actually been, I've been on a roll, and I did a lot of movies this year, and I'm actually going to end up doing a couple more before the year's out. And I have a big one coming, 007, Spectre's coming out in November. That's a huge deal for me. And then we go straight into the next Guardians, which starts filming in February. So I've had a good year, and I've got some good stuff coming out.
You'll be reunited with your man crush.
My man crush.
Romance.
I also have a man crush on the director James Gunn. He's such an awesome guy. It's a really good group of people, and we all became very close friends.
That's awesome. We have someone who's trying to sneak in on the line. I don't know if he's going to make it or not. We'll try him out. Okay. I'm sure he's a question for Dave. Gina and I are chopped liver now.
We are. It's okay.
Hey there. Who do you want to talk to?
Bautista.
Ooh.
Dave.
You want to speak to Dave?
Dave Bautista's on the line waiting to hear from you.
How old are you?
12 years old.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, what's your question for Dave Bautista?
We're friends with Eddie Midyett.
Oh, that's my brother. Eddie Midyett is my brother-in-law, actually.
Did Eddie tell you to call?
Did Eddie tell you to call?
Yeah, he did.
And what's your name again?
This is awesome.
He would.
All right, darling.
Alan. Yeah.
That's it.
I love how my family's just watching out for me. This is great.
Call back next week, darling. Well, thank you guys so much. So nice to meet you.
Yes,
so much fun talking with you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for telling, some of this other side of you that not everybody gets to see, this romantic side. Say hi to your fiance for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dr. Gina, a pleasure
much
as
fun.
always. I
Yes.
love all your advice.
Thank
You're so
you.
sweet.
Can't wait for next week.
We're going to do it again next week. We'll be back next week.
Have
Your
Sarah.
RX for love and
What's that?
success.
Have Sarah in.
Oh, yeah. We should bring Sarah in.
For
His
sure.
Fiance, for
Sarah,
sure.
you're coming on the show.
You are coming on. Be prepared. Sexy time with Sarah.
There you go.